Hello, I am Chris Lee of Southeastern14.com, here to break down SEC baseball schedules. Those were released on Wednesday, and with that, let's go through these. But before we go through individual schedules, we're going to approach it from who you don't play. And it's important to know ahead of time who is expected to be good and maybe not as good next year. Now, I emphasize not as, because nobody in the SEC is generally easy. It is, when you avoid an Omaha team on your schedule, you might be replacing that with a team that might make the NCAA tournament or might in another league where you're not just beating each other down. But in any case, let's go over national expectations. There's not a lot out in terms of major media stuff yet, but Baseball America did do a never too early top 25 this summer. Now, I don't know the exact date on it, but here's what BA has. In its top 25, by the way, Texas is the number one overall team. The Longhorns will not be in the SEC next year, but SEC baseball, which is already tough, about to get tougher when the Longhorns join the league. But in any case, here are the 8 top 25 teams, according to Baseball America, within the SEC. Number 2 is Vanderbilt. Number 3, Arkansas. 4, Mississippi State. 7, Florida. 9, Ole Miss. 10, LSU. 19, Tennessee, and 21, Georgia. So 8 of the 14 teams in the league expected to be top 25 teams, according to BA. Now, of course, BA not the only team or not the only outlet that covers college baseball. D1 also does a tremendous job. In fact, I think that's probably the best outlet at covering. D1 has not listed an early top 25, but what it did do was it listed its 8 for Omaha. Now, D1 has 9 experts, and they all gave their picks on Omaha. 4 of the 9 had Vanderbilt and Omaha, 4 had Arkansas, 6 had Mississippi State, 4 had Florida, 8 had LSU, and 1 had Tennessee. Interestingly, 1 also had Alabama. I believe that was Shotgun Spratling, and I agree with him. I think Alabama may be a top 25 team, even if BA did not have the Crimson Tide in there. Alabama really came on strong at the end of the year and should have Connor Prelip back. So you can look at this and say maybe 9 SEC teams that are top 25 worthy. So the implication of that is there's 5 that are not. Those teams are A&M, which underwent a coaching change, Auburn, which had a tough season last year, followed by South Carolina, Kentucky, and Missouri. Now, Missouri was woeful last year. I don't know how much better that gets. South Carolina was in the NCAA tournament last year. I think the Gamecocks will battle to do that this year. Kentucky, I think, going to have a tough time. The Cats never can find quite enough pitching and lost some bats a year ago. But I don't know. I don't underestimate Nick Mingione. He's done a good job up there. Butch Thompson has done a good job at Auburn, even though that was a rough year. And A&M, Jim Schlossnagle is one of the best in the business. A&M always has talent, but I think that's dwindled a little bit. So I would say that you're seeing a separation between maybe 10 teams and then the bottom 4. I don't know how to size up Auburn. South Carolina, I think, might be better than unranked, as BA has it so far. So we'll wait and see. But for right now, the experts kind of see a little bit of a division between the top 9 and then the rest of the league, which is 5 teams. So with that, let's look at the schedule through the eyes of who each team doesn't play. And I'm going to go by the teams that I think maybe got easier draws. I think South Carolina may be the biggest winner in this. The Gamecocks don't play Arkansas, LSU, Mississippi State, 3 teams that could all easily be in Omaha. Ole Miss, which got a brutal draw a year ago, does not face Georgia, Florida, and Vandy. So again, that reverses the bad break that the Rebels got with scheduling a year ago. Kentucky does not play Alabama, LSU, and Mississippi State. To me, that's 3 NCAA tournament teams right there, and 2 that I think everybody's going to have inside the top 10. Georgia is going to avoid Arkansas, Auburn, and Ole Miss. So, Arkansas, again, a team that I think is going to be consensus top 5. Ole Miss has got a tremendous lineup. I don't know as much about the pitching. And Auburn really never a pushover, even though the Tigers are not in that top group. Again, I really like Butch Thompson. He's done a great job there. Vanderbilt is going to avoid Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Alabama. The Mississippi schools really are tough to play. You especially don't really want to go on the road and play either of those teams. And Alabama, again, a team I don't want to face either. So I think Vanderbilt is not as good a draw maybe as Carolina got, but it's not a bad one either. Now, the teams that I feel sorry for, goodness gracious, Alabama misses Vandy but it gets Kentucky, or it also misses Kentucky and Missouri. Those are maybe the two worst teams in the league. LSU misses Kentucky, South Carolina, and Tennessee. Again, the Vols are going to be tough, but I don't know if they're in that Vanderbilt, Florida group. Maybe not even Georgia either, with Georgia getting some pitching back. We'll see about that. Mississippi State avoids Kentucky, South Carolina, and Vandy. And Missouri, my goodness, the Tigers are having such a tough time competing in this league, and the schedule makers did Missouri no favors. Missouri does not play Alabama, Auburn, and A&M. Again, three teams probably in the bottom half of the West. I think Auburn and A&M almost for sure. So I don't know how Missouri is able to pick up and kind of move on from there. One more interesting thing in terms of the scheduling, opening weekend is going to be interesting. There's two new coaches in the league. They face off in week one, LSU's Jay Johnson and A&M's Jim Schlossnagle. So you get a chance right away to see the two league new faces face off in week one. And one other interesting thing, according to BA, again, it expects the top two teams to be Arkansas and Vandy. That is a Week 9 series. Week 9 according to SEC play, not overall. And Vanderbilt travels to Arkansas. So that could be the series, if BA is right, that decides who wins the SEC's overall crown. I have a feeling it's going to be more complicated than that, but in any case, going by the rankings, that's one thing that jumps off the page. In any case, I'm Chris Lee at the 14. Thank you for watching our breakdown of SEC conference schedules for baseball.